Verme la moustache en la camucha. Siento patamilo, mira taca, tiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira taca, tiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira taca, tiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira taca, tiki taca, tiki. Siento patamilo, mira taca, tiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira taca, tiki punetica. Siento patamilo, mira taca, tiki punetica. Samile, verme la moustache en la camucha.
What's going on? This is your man John Fortune, your host of the Frustrated Fan Sports Show, and today is my mock-ish kinda draft. I'll say this: these are the guys that I think the Redskins should take versus what they probably take. There are, I'm not really sure who they're going to take except for at number 2 overall. But other than that, there are guys that in this draft that the Redskins can actually fill a lot of their holes with actually very quality guys. So I'm going to actually go down the list and let you know what guys they are. Of course, at number 2 overall, Chase Young. We're switching to the 4-3. We need that defensive end that can crash down and make plays. You put him basically beside Montez Sweat, who's the speed guy. He's going to focus more on getting to the quarterback versus coverage. You also add in there Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen, Matt Ioannidis, Tim Settle, and you're talking about we could probably have the most formidable defensive line combination there is. So Chase Young, of course, at the number 2 overall pick. For our first pick in the 3rd round, again, like I said, reports are coming out that that the Redskins are in trade talks with multiple teams. It hasn't happened yet. I'm looking at the ticker. There's nothing coming through just yet. So but I have seen reports of several teams that are talking about now moving down in the draft. The Panthers, the Cardinals. There are reports that the Patriots want to move up. So there's a lot of things going on, but we'll definitely see. But for the Redskins' first pick in the 3rd round, I got Sadiq Charles out of LSU. We need that plug-and-play tackle. Because I understand that we need a tight end and things like that, but we need somebody who can solidify that line for us as soon as possible. And to me, Sadiq Charles, coming from LSU in a passing offense, fits Dwayne Haskins' style. I think you need a guy like Sadiq Charles who's very good at pass blocking, but is also very steady at run blocking. So for me, Sadiq Charles, again, he's moving up the boards very fast. And we have to snag him as soon as possible. For our first pick in the 4th round, I got us taking Devin Asiasi. I know that there's been some people who want Adam Troutman. Devin Asiasi, to me, is the fit that we really need when it comes to the Redskins. He's a willing blocker, and on top of that, he's a matchup nightmare. So you're talking about a guy who's big, physical, and things like that, who can help in the run game, and at the same time catch the ball, and actually doesn't have a lot of drops, and not only that, can actually turn on the jets afterwards too. Not only will he help with that, he'll also help if we get Sadiq Charles, because now you'll have a tight end who's willing to block, and at the same time a guy who can help a tackle who's now learning a new system. So you're talking about Asiasi and Sadiq Charles can be on the same side together, and they can be like really protecting each other, but at the same time really learning the scheme. So that's my pick. At the second pick in the 4th round, I want Tyree Phillips, but if KJ Hill is there, we go with KJ Hill. It gives the Redskins another wideout. I understand that, most people want the Redskins to get that big body wide receiver, but we're talking about best available players at that time. So to me, if KJ Hill is there, we take KJ Hill. If not, I want Tyree Phillips. Tyree Phillips is an offensive lineman who people say he's not fluid in the hips and all this type of stuff, but I don't really contest to that. I pay attention to the games. This guy is a monster, a dominant monster. And you're talking about a guy who just, like, if you pay attention to the Mississippi State games, Tyree Phillips is just crushing people. I mean, he's like completely moving them out the way. He seems like he has a very nasty motor when it comes down to it. He's pushing people around and stuff like that. So, and he's a beast in the run game. So he's a guy that you can't really pull that often because he's not that quick. He's not that agile, I'll say. But at the same time, with a guy that big, that massive, that nasty, you don't even care about him pulling. You just want him to be in the way. And again, like I said, for a passing attack for Dwayne Haskins, I think he's the best fit. Now you're talking about the possibility of having your complete left side, which is your guard, your tackle, and also a tight end over there, all being rookies, being able to start. But we'll definitely see, but that's where I want to go. For the first pick in the 5th round, I still got us taking Julian Blackmon. A lot of my guys that I picked before the combine are now being moved up the ticker, way up the ticker. Jordan Brooks has been basically mocked in the 1st round. Jalen Johnson is now being mocked in the 1st round. And of course, Terrell Burgess, he's being mocked pretty high. So for me, Julian Blackmon, he was definitely the cleanup guy. Now, understand he's not the biggest safety on the board, but at the same time, he's a guy who could play safety and cornerback. So he can be your emergency corner if you need if you need him to do that. So with that being said, Julian Blackmon for the pick in the 5th round. Our first pick in the 7th round is a guy that is on nobody's radar. In 2018, this guy had a buttload of takeaways. What happened is that Cal ended up changing the defense, and people are talking more about his running buddy than actually him. And that guy is Jalen Hopkins, the safety out of California. Jalen Hopkins is a ball hawk. He's almost in on every play at a safety position. Now what happened is that the year before, they gave him a lot of freedom in Cal to do a lot of things. But they ended up changing their defense a little bit, and he ended up being more of a guy that they wanted to actually play more in the passing game and be more viable in the passing game and be more of the coach in the secondary, because you can just see he wasn't the same player. He still had pretty good stats, but his teammate Ashton Davis is being talked about more than him, which I find kind of strange, to be quite honest with you. But to me, Jalen Hopkins is more than likely going to be a very big steal no matter where he falls in the draft. But if the Skins can get him in the 7th round, because like I said, no one is talking about this guy. No one. And I mean, this guy is a beast. And last but not least is J.J. Taylor. Again, I had him early on talking about J.J. Taylor. We have to take this guy, because the only reason why I say we have to take this guy is because he's a running back. He's a small running back. But he can step in and do the kick return duties that we need, that we have to take away from Steven Sims Jr. He can also do punt return duties. So with that, you need that running back who can take those particular things off of Steven Sims Jr. so he can now focus on the fact of being a full-time slot wide receiver, which is what we want. I could care less about Trey Quinn. He didn't do that well, which is why Steven Sims in one season moved up from basically on the sideline to kick returner to being a slot starter. So yeah, J.J. Taylor is the guy to take over the return duties, and that's all we need him for. So basically, that's pretty much it. Now again, like I said, all this is just theory and expectation, but these are the guys that I think will go on. I will do my show after the 1st round of the draft, just to to see where the Redskins go, what they do. You know what? No, I'm gonna do my show after the. Let me see. So I'm gonna do my show on Saturday evening. So at that point, the Redskins would have gotten several rounds out the way. We'll also get an opportunity to see if the Redskins have moved Trent and if it's possible, what other picks they got that they picked up, and then I'll see if I'll throw in guys and things like that. Other than that, this has been your man John Fortune, and this has been the Frustrated Fan Sports Show.